Hello all, I am Redlead Steffi. I am doing my first year B.Ed in NVKC College of Education, Attu. The seminar presentation is about types of angles. Okay, let's see what the types of angles. First definition, first type is acute angle. Acute angle means an angle whose measure is less than 90 degree. Acute angle. Acute angle means an angle whose measure is less than 90 degree is called acute angle. We know right angle, straight 90 degrees called right angle. Then lesser than 90 degree, which means it is acute angle. This is first type. Then second type is right angle. Right angle means an angle whose measure is exactly 90 degrees is called right angle. An angle whose measure is exactly 90 degrees is called right angle. Okay, the first type is acute angle. The second type is right angle. In the slide I show the picture, isn't it? The angle which is exactly 90 degree, which means it's like a center straight line from the center. It is called 90 degree. This is second type. Then third type is obtuse angle. Obtuse angle means an angle whose measure is greater than 90 degree. Greater than 90 degree is called obtuse angle. Okay. First type is acute angle. The angle which is less than 90 degree is called acute angle, which is exactly 90 degree is called right angle, and greater than 90 degree is called obtuse angle. And then straight angle. Straight angle means an angle whose measure is exactly 180 degree. In the slide I show the picture, isn't it? Likewise, the angle is exactly 180 degrees called straight angle. Okay, first acute angle, right angle, obtuse angle, then now straight angle. Now reflex angle. An angle whose measure is greater than 180 degree and less than 360 degree is called reflex angle. Reflex angle means an angle which is greater than 180 degree and less than 360 degree is called reflex angle. Okay, acute angle, right angle, obtuse angle, straight angle, and now reflex angle. Then the next type is complementary angles. Angles whose measures add up to 90 degree. When adjacent, the angles form a right angle. Complementary angles means an angle whose measures add up to, if we have two angles means when we are adding the two angles, we have to get only 90 degree. Okay, the adjacent angles, the angles form a right angle. Then we call it as complementary angle. Complementary angle means if when we add two or three angles, maximum two angles. When we are adding two angles, we need to get 90 degree the total, which is known as complementary angle. Then supplementary angle means same like an complementary angle, but we need to get 180 degree. While we are adding, we need to get 180 degree. Angles whose measures add up to 180 degree when adjacent their bases are collinear. While adding two angles, we need to get 180 degree and it is called supplementary angle. Okay, then next one is adjacent angle. Adjacent angle means two non-overlapping angles that share a common side and a common vertex. In this slide I am showing angle A and angle B are adjacent angles, right? They are both are adjacent. Then two non-overlapping angles that share a common side on it and a common vertex. They have a common side and they are moving the common side, same side, and they have a common vertex point. So we can say that angle A and angle B are adjacent angles. Now, linear pair of angles. Linear pair of angles is formed when two adjacent angles share a common side and the non-common sides form a straight line. Linear pair of angles means when it will form means when two adjacent angles share a common side. Two adjacent angles will form a common side. They form from the same point, I mean common side, and the non-common sides form a straight line. We have two angles there and the non-common sides form a straight line. Sum of the measures of linear pair of angles is always 180 degree. Sum of the measures of linear pair of angle is always 180 degree. Vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles are the angles that are opposite one another at a specific vertex and are created by two straight intersecting lines. Vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. Okay, vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. Linear pair of angles are sum of the measures is always 180 degree. Vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. are angles. Vertically opposite angles are the angles that are opposite one another. It will be opposite at a specific vertex. Same vertex, but the point line angles are opposite one another and created by two straight intersecting lines. We will get two straight intersecting lines. This is vertically opposite angle. Then, okay, we shall see one by one from the first. Types of angles. First one is acute angle. Acute angle means a measure which is less than 180 degrees is called acute angle. Right angle means an angle whose measure is exactly 90 degrees called right angle. And obtuse angle means an angle whose measure is greater than 90 degrees called obtuse angle. And a straight angle means an angle whose measure is 180 degrees called straight angle. Reflex angle means an angle whose measure is greater than 180 degree and less than 360 degrees is called reflex angle. Complementary angle means an angle whose measures add up to 190 degree. When adjacent, the angles form a right angle. Supplementary angles means angles whose measures add up to 180 degree. When adjacent, their bases are collinear. Adjacent angles means two non-overlapping angles that share a common side and a common vertex. Linear pair of angles means linear pair of angles is formed when two adjacent angles share a common side and the non-common sides form a straight line. Sum of the measures of linear pair of angles is always 180 degree. Vertically opposite angles are the angles that are opposite one another at a specific vertex and are created by two straight intersecting lines. Vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. Okay, thank you.